Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the Underground podcast. Gang, what new music have you been listening to?
I'm Ollie, I'm Harvey, I'm Emily.
Oh, they know this by now.
Yes, nearly the
I'm
end.
the fan favourite.
Oh, apparently so.
Okay.
The silent and impactful one.
I'm joking, right?
Okay.
So, what have you been listening to this week?
I'll start. So Shy FX dropped an album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Shy FX.
We were talking about the album the other week, weren't we?
Yeah, it's got some weird features on it. Did we speak about it already?
Yeah, we spoke about the Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, Cara Delevingne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like 4 songs already released off of it. But yeah, the album's called Ragamuffin Sound Tape.
I don't, do you know what? I saw that this morning on Apple. All I saw was Ragamuffin, and I was already so up. I was living.
I hadn't actually listened to the whole thing yet because I only woke up like an hour before we came here because I'm quite hungover.
Well,
But-
and I'm someone who works at
That's a
7 a.m.
tea.
But yeah,
To be fair,
what I've heard is good, and it's not all just like it's not all one genre. It's not just because he's predominantly known for like jungle and drum and bass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess he's predominantly.
I'd say
known for that.
predominantly no. Yeah.
But there's like
Yeah,
there's a
they
mixture of stuff on there, like yeah.
There's a singer who there's a singer who I really like. Her name's called Sinead Harnett.
Yeah.
She's like some UK R&B singer.
I listened to that this morning.
But no, she's
Oh,
on the
yeah.
Shy FX
Yeah.
album, and I was snatched because it's obviously like never really heard it. I haven't actually heard it yet, but I want to.
I've heard it. It's like, I don't know, I was expecting so much different from Shy FX. It wasn't what...
What kind of vibe was it? Because obviously she's like that kind of R&B soul.
It was quite chilled. Like it was... I don't know. I was waiting for like a beat to drop or something, but it didn't. So
Well,
I was
I
like,
love her voice, so I'm happy.
But
to see
yeah,
her
it was
do
really
this.
good. Yeah.
I do have to say though, I think the best song is still probably "Roll the Dice" with Lily Allen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was sick as
I
well.
thought there's gonna be something. Nothing really topped it, but
Yeah. She needs to ditch Afrobeat and go for drum and bass, because I'm living.
Yeah.
It does sound nice.
That's her calling.
But Jack Severetti this released an album as well today, and
Mm-hmm.
I've only heard the single so far, as the time this is being filmed is like Friday late morning,
Yeah.
and he's got a song called What More Can I Do, and it is like so 2004, that kind of like it's just so wonderful, and it's like a really beautiful kind of love, like kind of sad love song, and I thought it was perfect. And I'm not really a huge fan of his voice all the time, but it was really husky and raspy, more toned this time, so I was here for it. If you haven't listened, highly recommend.
Oh, listen.
Yeah. I was listening to, there's this singer called Cara Marnie
Iconic.
who I know, like who I've been listening to for a little while.
You showed me her in like
yeah.
first year, I think.
Yeah, she's released a new single today called Lose My Love, and it's really lovely. She's just like chilled, like R&B, like quite pop in a little sense, but she's like a really good singer-songwriter. And she's friends with Rita Ora.
I always see her comment on Instagram.
Yeah, so I wonder if like...
Rita Ora for the style. I live the
Yeah.
looks.
I just wonder if, like, maybe she'll go somewhere because she's friends with her, like she'll get on a collab or something that could, like, really push her. But yeah, she's really good. I like her.
There's a singer called Jade Bird who released
I
a
love
single
her.
today. I love her, and I've been on this bitch for so long, and her album's coming out, I think, April 12th and 19th.
Oh, is it?
Who's Jade Bird again?
Jade Bird, she's like an acoustic folk singer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember because I thought it was like a female Jake Bug.
Yeah.
Yes, and
That's
I
what-
absolutely
yeah.
stan. I
I like that
stan
description
her.
of her, female Drake Bug.
Yeah,
that
I
really
like
is what
that.
it
It
is.
sounds like Jake Bug, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I didn't put any
I
words.
didn't think about that. Yeah.
But I first discovered her. She had a song called Cathedral from the EP. I found it like a year and a half ago, and I was absolutely obsessed. And ever since, like, she's released like multiple songs off for this album, and everything is impressing me so much. So I'm so excited for hers.
Yeah.
I think she could be a little kind of those like niche kind of supernovas.
Yeah.
To be reckoned with.
Nice.
Like, we're going for a very female lead today, but I listened to another singer called Billy Martin, who's a female, and she released a single called Betsy.
I've seen that, but I haven't
It's
actually listened.
really good,
Is
yeah.
it?
So I'd highly recommend. Yeah, it's very nice. She's got a very lovely voice, and it's like, I don't know, I've never heard of her before, so it was quite nice to find this morning.
Yeah.
Very chilled out for a Friday morning.
So another thing that I was listening to, a band called Good Morning, who are pretty unknown to be honest. They're like, I thought they'd be bigger by now, but
I've never heard of.
they're Australian, and they released a song called Blue Tick today. And I thought, to be honest with you, I've liked every song they've released. They've released like 2 albums, I think.
Really?
They released one last year, yeah. But they're still pretty unknown. Like, they've got like 3,000 Instagram followers. But
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
there's a lot of good Australian bands though. So
I was going to say Australians
There's
are
a
coming
lot- there's a
through
lot,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I
It's a
agree.
lot.
I'll give
No.
that a listen though, because is it like Tim Impala vibe? I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
Australian
yeah,
bands have gone to that vibe since.
I feel like they started the like wave of.
that kind of
Well,
Yeah, I
it
get
had-
what you
it's like
mean.
Minute rock kind of.
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
happening. Yeah.
In other like big news today, has anyone seen the Glasgow announcement?
I just looked at it actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw it this
How
morning
are
when
we
I woke up.
feeling?
I mean, it is a good lineup,
It is a good lineup.
but it hasn't excited
It's
me.
been better.
It hasn't
yes.
got me excited.
I have mixed feelings. I'm happy someone like Janet Jackson is one of the female
Mm-hmm.
headliners. There's only been, for people who don't know this, there's only ever been 6 headliners who are females ever in Glastonbury history.
She's not like headliner though. She's like just underneath.
Well, when I saw the picture
So there's
earlier,
3
there's like 5 of
headliners,
them. It
so-
said The Killers, The Cure. It said Stormzy, Kylie, Janet.
Yeah. So the 3 headliners are Stormzy, The Cure, and The Killers. Janet and Kylie have got. You know what Dolly Parton
The
did?
legendary song. I
The
thought
mid
They
afternoon.
did 2 though. Shut up.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work because I
want-
thought.
so wait, you're
so
telling me-
I was saying like there's 5 headliners. What's the day split? Are they doing 2 half
Yeah, I
sets?
met him earlier.
But it's not. So Friday's Stormzy, obviously, that was announced ages ago. Saturday's The Killers, Sunday's The Cure. I know.
What?
I know.
Can I just say, I want to vocalise this. I cannot express how disrespectful I find it that you're going to tell me that Stormzy's a headliner and Janet Jackson may have the legendary stop, but like, you're not going to give her a headline. Are you joking?
I know. She's obviously high on the lineup. Well,
Yeah, but
on
it's
the
still,
poster,
like, I
she's
don't mean it's
like,
really-
The thing is, the way I see it though, she is a legend. She's not a current big artist. That's how you have to look at it.
But when was the last time The Cure or The Killers had a huge song or album?
Oh
that
wait,
was
The
like-
Killers were
Are the
last
Cure
year.
headliners, actual
Yes.
headliners.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Killers had an album last year, to be fair. They are
And-
quite.
And how, and yeah, but on a
Actually,
commercial,
that is true, yeah,
on a
yeah.
commercial status though, it's not like, let's not act like for a minute their biggest thing is Mr. Brightside.
Oh,
They've
I
never been
know.
able to like over.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, like no shame on them because I'm a fan of The Killers and The Cure, and it's nothing on them. I think it's bad, it's wonderful, great.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to put Stormzy, who's had 1 album,
Although I am going to say, like, I do think it is amazing that they put him as
it's amazing,
headliner.
it's great. But if you're going to do it, it's a representation of UK
They've
grime.
done that just to make it more relevant.
Just to make it current, yeah.
But I
But for
personally
him-
think if you're going to do that in grime, you should do it Skepta, not
Yeah.
Stormzy.
Yeah, but I know, but
But Stormzy's more commercialised.
commercial.
If you're looking
Would
at
you
their
say so?
audience,
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
if you're looking at their audience, they're looking for the Radio 1 listener. Stormzy's the Radio 1 listener. Skepta isn't.
Then I have to ask if they're looking for the Radio 1 listener.
I'd
why
say
are they going
it's kept
to
up.
the-
It sort of is, but not. as
He
much.
isn't, but like if you're
Yeah.
going off like daytime Radio 1, you want a
Yeah,
commercial
yeah,
artist,
yeah.
and if grime,
Yeah,
Stormzy is the one.
It's true.
And I think it is massive for Stormzy because if you're looking for someone, he's about to release his 2nd album, I can guarantee Glastonbury's going to be part of the promo. You can't
Of
say.
course, and this is
I bet
fine.
And it's going to be
Gas,
huge for
yeah, I
him,
bet
like
you
it
say
is.
Gas.
And listen, I am here for anyone in their artist progression. I'm so happy for Stormzy. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's great. I'm just saying.
For the brand
when-
of Glastonbury.
For the brand of Glastonbury,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I just find it a bit. I get like everyone's been. I get it's great for like this kind of the genre of grime to kind of really massively elevate in the last like 5 years, especially because it's been around for a fucking minute
Yeah.
and it's kind of been ignored for so long, and now it's so big. I get that. And I love that they're kind of showing a representation of grime.
Do
and
you think,
appreciation
though,
for it.
people are only showing grime because people are talking about it now? It's not because,
One, yes,
we
and
actually
two,
do
to
actually
look
like
they're
this
really
music.
appropriate with it. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I think it is. I think it's like, okay, it's great. Give people all these awards and do this and do that to really, really like kind of forefront
Yeah.
this new genre that is kind of being formed
I
out of
feel
other
like it should have been
genres.
respected a long, long time ago.
Yes, and I love that it's being respected now, but giving him a slot at Glastonbury, I find that a lot of these big companies in film, in music, in whatever, they do it all the time. Where it's like, okay, it's great, appreciate them, but don't give them do not give them honorary kind of platforms that they're not ready for. That's all I'm saying. I think even after a 2nd album, fine. Listen, I love Adele. She did 3 albums. She headlined. It was a huge thing. But look at those albums.
Didn't Arctic Monkeys, though, headline after 1 album? 1 or 2?
Yes, but you've got to remember, even back then, music
Yeah.
was so different, though, and it was so much bigger, and especially in that era of bands, the Arctic Monkeys were massive.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not even saying it because it's like, a part of me is saying, is it a bit too early for him? And he's been around for years. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
He's worked very hard, and I'm very, very happy for him. Give him a 2nd slot. Give him a great slot at Glastonbury. Don't give him a headlining one. When I'm hearing rumours of like, do you know what, ignore the rumours before I even say it's like Spice Girls and not Adele, Madonna. But like, if you look at the people just all before, I just think really like it's Glastonbury. It's the
Yeah.
world-renowned, and you've got to remember, people come from all over the world. Yes, it's great to educate people on music, But if you're going to put one of the highest people on your list,
I think it just shows how far Grime's come, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
absolutely,
mad, isn't it?
absolutely.
How,
It's
like,
huge.
Grime is now on the main stage. I had that in Glastonbury. That's crazy.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
crazy. I don't get me wrong, I'm so happy for it. I would have just been much more happy with the less critique if I think someone like Skepta, because I look at him more of a pioneer who brought it more commercially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree, but yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Lauren Hill,
And Lauryn Hill's headlining.
she's at every festival this summer.
Yeah.
She is, but you know what? I'm going to have to go to every festival she's doing.
Definitely.
I want to do Boomtown, but I realistically can't afford it at this rate. But I want to go to the Downs Festival because it's her and Noel Kana. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I want to go to that. I don't know how much it is, but
But
I
I mean,
haven't
if I
seen
can
that.
get that Glastonbury second sale, I will. Because it is actually, may I add, apart from all the
you
critiques,
said,
it's
you,
a
said
good
you,
lineup.
couldn't, you said you couldn't afford Boomtown, but Glastonbury's
Yeah.
more expensive.
Yeah, but you pull out the money for Glastonbury. It's
Oh,
different.
yeah, classic you.
Oh, shut
Pulling
up.
out the money from where?
From his arse.
But basically, yeah. Actually, to conclude, there is one more song I want to bring up because there's an artist who I love this year. SG Lewis released a song with this girl
I
called
love him.
Clyro. It's really good. But this girl Clyro, she's been she's done songs with Reggie Snow, and she's had she's just she's dropped a couple of EPs and a few songs, and everything I hear is she's got an old soul and she knows her sound and she knows her vibe, and I really think she could be something special. So my big
Yeah.
recommendation of the week is for people to listen to Clyro. CLAIRO.
If not, listen to SG Lewis.
I feel like a lot of people don't know now, though, but
Yeah.
yeah. But wonderful.
Actually, quick thing.
What?
Shout out to Talk Tonight Events for putting on their event last night. I went
Yeah.
and it was good.
The reason you're hungover today.
Yeah, that is the reason I'm here today. Yeah, a lot of good bands. Yeah, so
Yeah.
today we're interviewing Nads, who is a drum and bass bassline DJ. He lives in Southampton. Stay tuned for that. Yeah.
And enjoy the episode, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Hasta luego.
Do we even need to say bye if it's not ending?
No, exactly.
You say enjoy.
Oh, well.
Oh, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Welcome back, guys. Today we have drum and bass and bassline DJ Nads. How are you doing?
Hi guys, yeah, I'm alright, thank you. How are you all?
Yeah,
We're all
thank
good. I'm a bit
you.
hungover, but I'm good.
Yeah, nice.
He's persevering.
I'm persevering.
on
So
with it.
first things first. Tell us a bit about how you got into DJ and drum and bass and stuff.
So yeah, obviously I'm gonna go back a little bit. I mean, weirdly, one of the first kind of experiences I had with enjoying bass music and all that stuff, very off the cuff of what I do now. Actually, the song "Latched" by Disclosure. I remember listening to it on a train when it first came out, and I was like, "This is sick! This is a sick tune." It kind of got me into the whole underground music scene. Then I kind of went to raves and stuff when I was younger, and I kind of always loved the drum and bass and the bass line stuff. Then I came to uni and I saw there was a society, and I was like, "This is sick! It's an opportunity to start DJing." Didn't start until my second term of first year.
Oh, so you weren't DJing before?
No,
uni?
not even at all. Not at all. I mean,
Okay.
I was always so interested in music, into the scene and stuff. And then I kind of came and was like, this is an opportunity to start. Kind of learned how. I got a little controller, sat in my room and learned how to do it. And then I kind of ended up getting a few gigs and stuff. Actually, the first one I got was in Brixton Jam in London because
Nice.
so my friend who Harvey knows, Luke, ran an event called Lyrical Lock Off. So I did a set there, and then I guess I kind of just got myself about and got myself known. And got sets over. I played Bristol, Leeds, Exeter, London, Southampton, obviously.
That's a lot of cities, though.
Yeah, I honestly, when I first started, I was like, an aim for me would be playing Switch, playing Lakota and Bristol, and I was like, that would be something. And Blue Mountain, I was like, that would be an achievement. I've done all those things down. I'm kind of like, I can't really believe it. I can't really believe the opportunities I've got, because a lot of people kind of start and they're doing early sets or late sets. I've always been given quite nice sets as well, and I've supported some of my favourite artists. So yeah, it kind of all just fell to me a little bit, which is quite weird, and I've been quite fortunate with it, definitely.
Do you think you're originally from Bristol or near Bristol, right?
Yeah.
Do you think obviously the drum and bass scene in Bristol's
Oh mate,
popping off?
It's over there. Bass is huge.
Yeah,
I mean, you got
yeah.
around here. Obviously, you got stuff like the likes of Astrofunk, Retro Jam, and all that kind of stuff. And it's quite disco, house tech, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Do you reckon there's quite a big contrast between Southampton and Bristol?
Massively so. I mean, Bristol is absolutely. It's a bit too packed with bass, drum and bass, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Every week there's Tuesday nights there'll be some mad headliners. So if you're looking to start events and stuff, especially in Bristol, it's pretty impossible unless you have a lot of backing behind it, or you know the right people.
Do you find it hard as well, to stand out as well? Because there's so many of you doing similar sort of things. Is it hard for you to sort of, make a big name for yourself?
Yeah, of course, 100%. I completely back that. I mean, it's for any kind of underground DJ, it's difficult to make a name for yourself. I think what I've happened with me is I've kind of made a name between the people that I know, and people that I know have kind of seen me play out. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a big name, but I mean, I've kind of played places which a lot of people would like to play. And I've been fortunate. I know people that run events and stuff. And a lot of it nowadays, unfortunately, is who you know.
Yeah.
And like, I've been very fortunate with that. But I mean, I kind of learned very quickly how to DJ. And I feel like I just sat in my room in first year and I just kind of like went for it all the time. And then I kind of just eventually got the hang of it, really.
So curiosity.
Go on.
It sounds like for what you wanted, kind of like your early goals, what you wanted to kind of like achieve in DJing, obviously like Switch and La Costa. Is there anything now?
Lakota.
But would you say there's anything now that like have you got new goals now from that? Because obviously you got yours quite early on.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, like in terms of like a career in it, I can't. Production's very, very hard. Like I have so much respect for anyone that can produce. I mean, like I know you had Panda on here a few weeks ago. He's unbelievable at what he does, and it takes a lot of time to like get to that level. So in terms of me, for my like career as like a solo artist or like DJ, I'm happy with what I'm doing now. I've kind of shifted more to like the event side, like running stuff.
Yeah. Which
is like my next kind of aim is like to make that a thing. So my event's called Connect. Like that's my next kind of ambition, because I spent the last few years promoting myself, and now look at it, I'm like, I actually would have rather have been promoting that more than myself, because I want that to become something, not necessarily me as like an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think because like you have played events, you sort of know how to do it, like you've learnt from the other's perspective?
Like I've always loved performing. Like I'm a performer. I like being in front of people. I like being the centre of attention. So I've never been like worried when I've been like playing a set, or like I've never been like nervous. The only time I was actually nervous was actually when I played Main Room Switch for Triple Cook, because I had to do a disco set, and I don't really mix disco, but luckily I was with some other boys doing it, so it was fine. But I mean, yeah, it definitely, honestly, like you kind of just pick little things. I'm learning every day. Like same with anything, you learn all the time, and I'm kind of picking up the stuff as I go along. But it's nice to see when I play at different places, I can see how like the event is, and like see if I can kind of correlate that back to me, or like transfer kind of stuff that's happened there to my events.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I feel like the DJ scene in Southampton is quite like close knit. Like you've got like Ashley Funk and whatever.
Yeah. So
do you think having that support from like all of them lot is just like together it works better because you're
100%. Like obviously everyone who DJs around here knows everyone. Like everyone's friends.
Yeah.
I know all the Astronaut boys. And to be fair, they're a little bit of my inspiration in starting the events, because I started DJing and then I remember seeing their first one. I think I knew Zayn before uni, and I kind of saw their event. I was like, I saw their first one. I was like, if they can do it, surely I can do it.
Yeah.
But it took me, I didn't start them until like halfway through second year. And in hindsight, if I could go back, I would start it sooner. But like seeing them do it, I was like, surely that's like something that can happen. And obviously round here, kind of pushing bass music, like drum and bass, is quite difficult, because it's a very, very like disco, tech housey sort of scene. But I mean, I'm trying to graft it slowly towards like it being a bit more of a label than a events company. Obviously I want to keep running the events, but like the whole label side of it interests me, like releasing other people's music through like a platform. I think that's something that I'm really interested to like happen in the coming years.
That's really exciting, because we haven't had anyone on that's like thinking of going into that sort of side of it.
How have you found working with like promoters in Southampton?
Well, I mean, so it's been quite nice, because like I said, they're all my friends, so like promotion wise it's quite nice having these people I know. I obviously started at Orange Rooms, and Reese was like the manager when I started, and he does Monday, so like he was always like completely backed me. Like I went in with this like business plan, he was like, no one ever does this. It was like he was quite impressed by it, so that was quite nice. I'm doing more stuff at Rebel now. I do like room 2. So tonight I've got room 2 at Rebel. Then at the 5th of April I'm doing room 2 for Govern Friends, and I've got that through Justin, who runs a brand called On a Mission, and he's been really, really like helpful with like helping me get everything started. And like it's kind of like lowered the risk for me, because it's kind of like I have any cost, but like I can kind of get something from it, as well as like building up my brand reputation, like being on these huge like with these huge acts who cost like thousands of pounds a book, being on a lot like in a room or in a club, and I'm associated with that, looks good for my brand. So like, that's something I've really trying to push this term, especially as well. Like university guy is here as well. I've got loads of work, so it's quite nice to have like something that I can do which takes less time but also benefits me massively.
Yeah, that's good.
I was gonna say, like, do you find it difficult to manage all of these events that you're doing, whatever, with your uni work?
It can be at times. Like, I mean, I actually probably struggled more when I was running an event, like a whole event in like Orange Rooms, as I do now, because obviously I don't have to like manage as many people now if I'm doing something, for example, tonight at Rebel, because obviously the room 1 is their booking and I'm looking after room 2, so it's less management for me. So it's actually perfect right now to do that. Considering I've got this dissertation and to write loads of essays and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Have you like done anything in like other cities, like you said about being in Bristol and stuff? Have you like tried venturing to like?
I think
places?
it's something I will look into after uni, because obviously, like I said, Bristol's like a lot of backing, like financially you need. But I mean, I think I always kind of like thought about maybe somewhere like Cardiff or Oxford and stuff, because those places are kind of like, there's a scene there, but it's not like Bristol. It's almost like people have already got their feet like firmly on the ground.
Yeah.
And to get in there, you have to do something huge. For example, like tomorrow's that Marnie Lang and Mates warehouse. That will blow out anything out the water tomorrow night. Like if anyone's doing an event tomorrow, that will just completely blow them all out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely would in the future consider like going to other places. I think the aim when I started it, I was like, the aim is to have like a brand somewhere, like an event running in like big cities all over the country. That'd be like the dream. And obviously overall, if I ever ventured out internationally, that would be amazing. But that's a long way off yet. But like, it's all a work in progress, really.
I think it's impressive though that you have like such a business mindset with it. So would you look at it like kind of Southampton isn't really the best place for what you kind of like want here, businessly or musically wise? So as we have been discussing, obviously techno and disco is so much bigger here compared to like drum and bass or bassline in Bristol. Do you think that's more your market where you can really pick your feet off the ground?
It's interesting you say that, because obviously when I was started it, I was like, obviously there's not much of a scene for it here. However, because there isn't much of a scene for it here, I could be someone that starts something.
A pioneer.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
it's good that you're pushing it, because there's no one else. Well, there are people that,
obviously there's a few, there's like Rebel Bass, and obviously there is big events like Switch and Rebel, but like as a student kind of run night, like a student night, like when I started I was like, I want to have like a student night which is cheap, which people can go and enjoy this kind of music, because in other cities they have that all the time and here they don't. And yeah, it goes against me the fact that it's not as big here, but it also doesn't, because if I'm not going to stop doing it after uni. Obviously, I won't be in Southampton, but I will keep. There's no point of the last few years if I just stop doing it.
Yeah, there's no point in like establishing something.
It'd be absolutely pointless to do that.
Good, yeah.
So I think it is beneficial and not beneficial, but I think I could kind of make the most out of it if I really, really put my mind to it. I think
that's huge. Would you ever sort of start to learn how to produce and like make your own music, or is that just?
I mean, I've dabbled a little bit, but the people that are big have been doing it since they're like 14, and it takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and it's actually very technical. And like the people that are good at it, I'm like, damn, you're sick. Like you know what you're doing, and there's a lot going on. I mean, if I ever was in a situation where someone was like, I can like tutor you for it, I wouldn't pass down the opportunity, but I wouldn't use it to push my own sort of personal artist career. I would solely focus on it helping my brand now as it is.
So that leads me, I want to ask you this. That's really good, because you brought up like how obviously artists who even you look up to and who make their own original music in D&B now, they've always been doing it from a young age. So would you say for you, not would you say for you, would you actually now, what would you say is the hardest kind of thing that people don't realise about DJing? Because I think a lot of people have a misconception that it's much easier than it's much harder than it actually looks.
I mean, the actual like concept of actually like DJing in itself isn't the hardest thing in the world to like grasp. It's almost like learning an instrument. Like if you put enough time into it, you will learn the instrument. I think the thing is now you get a lot of people that kind of, there's a lot of like pages on Facebook which have like blown the scene up, like Lengoland for example, and there's all these other like D&B pages, and people post their music on it, and a lot of it is just like the same stuff being like reconstituted every time, and it all sounds the same. I think the most important thing is finding something which is distinct to you. Like having a USP is so vital in an industry like this, because there's so many people can go out there and make a track sounds like someone else's track, and people are like, well, that's boring. Like,
you don't want to keep
but like
hearing
you've
repeats.
got to have something unique to yourself. And I think in terms of that like production side of it, even if it's like a way you DJ, like people can do different stuff. I mean, depends how like what tracks you select, like what kind of set you play, like, all that kind of stuff. It's important to it, and all of it like goes under one umbrella. But like in terms of production, like if you wanted to get big, you got to have something different. And the people that I always look at it like the bassline scene, like YouTube, because if you look at the big YouTubers now, they started it when it wasn't big, and they kind of got in there first, and they were like for example, I don't know, like people like PewDiePie or whatever, like KSI, they did their things when they were like when it wasn't like known that for that YouTube, and they got in there first. And I look at these like massive bassline DJs like Holy Goof, Darksy, Skepsis, they started that movement, so they were there first. So it does become increasingly more difficult over time for new people to like do that, because all the kind of stuff that's new is taken up.
Yes, but I would say I think there's something that's quite good about drum and bass, because I think a lot of it is in the kind of market it is so kind of like club circuit, and obviously a lot of that is mixing. And especially in drum and bass now, you see there's a lot of sampling as well. So I think in that way, it kind of gives you more opportunity to kind of be your own kind of like your own USP in that way. Like even for me, I thought if I was ever going to go into it, because I love like drum and bass production, But I would do it always with like females. If I could do 90s female R&B on all drum and bass, I think that would be my niche, just do all females. And if you came to mind, that's what you know you're going to hit.
But it's not.
No, of course, that's what I think. I think you can always there's always more to play with.
There's always a niche for anyone. I mean,
yeah, that's what I
you
think.
look at certain producers. They'll only produce jungle. They'll only produce like rollers or jump up or whatever. But like you said, like for me, if I hear like a new track, like samples are huge. Like especially drum and bass. If you go to like a drum and bass rave and you're hearing some like if you don't really enjoy it and you're hearing this like screeching sound to you, and then suddenly like Afterglow comes on for something like a song that everyone knows. Everyone's like, oh, this is such a feel good tune.
Do you think it's an important thing when DJing is obviously like to obviously feed off the crowd and like see what they're reacting to?
100%. I mean, I've only ever planned one set, and that was the first set I played because I was obviously like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I need to see it. I need to plan it out. I mean, now I kind of like will vaguely have like an idea of like the songs I want to play, or like maybe play like new stuff out. But like if you see someone in the crowd and you're like, this guy's gonna love this kind of music, like you will play it because like, I mean, I think Andy C. I don't know if you heard of Andy C. Massive DJ. He did his Wembley show, and he came out and said that he would basically look at certain parts of the crowd at certain points. I think it's like a 6-hour set or something. He'd look at certain parts of the crowd and he'd see if they enjoyed it, would play to that crowd for a bit, and then look at another part and then play to that part of the crowd, which I found really interesting because obviously that isn't playing
so like clever though, to like be able to like look at a group of people and go, oh, actually, I know that you're really going to enjoy this song. You must have such a knowledge to like work off. Like you must have like a big bank in your head of music and be like, right, okay, that's cool.
It's funny though because you say obviously you say it's clever. It's not like massively clever because I just think like when I was in the crowd, what would I like to listen to? Like what would I enjoy? And I'm like, obviously not everyone has the same taste of music as me, but generally if you're at an event that I'm playing at, you probably do like the same music that I like. And it's obviously the knowledge of the music is just like, just as you guys might know like the favorite genre of yours, you know every song. Like I know I can remember like if I'm playing a song and I'm like, oh, this song will sound good next. It takes ages to find it on my USB. Obviously, like got so much music. Like nowadays, it's almost got to the point where you have so much stuff. I forget to play stuff during sets because I'm like I'm looking through it. I'm scrolling through and like, oh god, I forgot to play that. But yeah, playing to a crowd is a huge part of it because at the end of the day, they're the people that are gonna either make your career or like if you're running an event, they're the people coming in. They're like the punters giving you the money that you're trying to earn. So yeah, they're the people that you need to play to. They're the most important people in my opinion.
No, that's fair enough.
And I think the turnout kind of show is maybe one of the best ways to learn like, your own market research if you're doing good or not.
I mean, you look at Astrofunk, for example. Yeah. Their turnout's great because they know that in this city that is what people want, and that's why it's popular, and that's why now they're doing switch shows. Yeah, that's huge. Which is great for them. Like it's credit to them. They've come on like leaps and bounds, and it's all down to them actually knowing their audience and like playing to that. And that's the same with any events company. Obviously, like you get these huge companies who just go and put like a big headliner on, but they wouldn't put like a headliner in a city if that headliner wasn't popular there. Like it's just it'd be stupid.
Yeah. Have you played any festivals before?
Unfortunately, I haven't played any festivals. That's to be fair, talking about ambitions, that'd be something I'd love to like. That's an ambition of mine. Yeah. A festival set would be lovely because obviously like in the summer, like everyone's feeling good. Like in the daytime, that'd be great.
Do you reckon there's a big market as well for like drum and bass at festivals? Like
definitely.
Huge. I mean, the thing I love about festivals, obviously you have certain festivals which are specific to a certain like niche or genre, but most festivals are just completely like the lineup's so all rounded. Like there's literally bassline, house, techno, drum and bass. There's everything at festivals, which is why for an artist, I think a big achievement if you were like producing and pushing yourself. An achievement to play it somewhere like that is great because not only for you, but you could network between genres and like meet so many people. I mean, you get so many kind of like crossovers of like DJs now producing with like maybe like a drum and bass guy producing with like a bassline guy, and it's like that's so weird because that's not their genre, but it obviously works. And like it's all music is coming into like underground music is under the same kind of umbrella at the end of the day.
I've noticed there's quite a lot of D&B producers that are actually like collabing quite a lot recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on. I think a lot of people that produce, they get a lot of like writer's block, as you would if you're like writing a book. And I think actually having like another kind of second opinion on it, or like someone else coming in and being like, oh, this is how I do it, or it probably helps you like get to the next level you want to get to. And for like someone that's aspiring to be asked to like collab with someone that's actually kind of got a bit of a foot would be a massive achievement for someone like that. Like you would feel so good about like a massive guy coming to you and being like, oh, I want to remix your tune or I want to collab with you. That's like a really big achievement for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Obviously you played a lot of shows. Could you tell us about some of your most memorable?
Yeah, so I think, funnily enough, one of my favourite ones I played was Exeter, which sounds weird, but because it's such a weird, it sounds really weird.
Random.
It sounds weird because the funny thing is in Exeter, it's such a small community, like the university, like there's an event and every person will go to it
Yeah.
because
Is
it's
this for D&B?
they do everything. I mean, I did a bassline show down there, and it was like towards the beginning of my kind of like DJ career, or whatever, and it was quite sick because it was really busy, and I was like, it's quite mad because every single person goes to the night because it's such a small group of like such a small community at the university. Everyone will just go, and that was like that was a sick show for me. As well as that, probably Cardiff is insane. I played there a few times.
The nightlife in Cardiff is nuts.
I played in this old bank vault the other week. It was like a sweatbox, but that was a very good experience for me. That was so sick. But yeah, like, obviously, like London, I played like Bricks and Jam and stuff, which was sick. But obviously,
iconic venue.
It's very Bricks and Jam is sick. I mean, the smoking area is mad there. I love it. It's so big.
I'd say for someone who hasn't DJ'd that long, really in the like grand scheme of things, you've got quite a few like pretty good gigs. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
you've done well.
I'm happy to like say that I've played in different places. I think somewhere that I would like to go next, I'd love to play in like somewhere like Newcastle or something, or somewhere or like Manchester, because like the scene there is really good. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, what would be more of an achievement for me now would be putting on a show in those places, for sure. Like if I put an event on in Manchester or Newcastle and it was busy, I'd be like, that is more of an achievement for me than just like playing a set there.
Curiosity, do you see yourself always being a DJ, or do you see yourself more being like a business head for that area?
I mean, I remember one of my dad's friends, she used to run events like back in the day, and she said that she did techno events because she didn't like it, and it meant it was a business for her, and she didn't like enjoy the night as like, she was like, this is a business, so I didn't like the genre, but it was busy. For me, I do my events. Obviously, like, I have fun as well. But I've always, you've got to be on it. But obviously, it gets to a certain point in the night where like maybe the door's closed and you can just kind of like chill. And if you're looking after like an artist, like you've got to make sure they're catered for. If you're paying money for someone, I mean, I haven't had any like huge bookings yet, but like you've got to make sure because there's contracts, there's all this kind of stuff through their agents. You've got to make sure that they're looked after. But yeah, I mean, I do try and keep a business mind to it. Like I do keep like spreadsheets of all my kind of stuff that goes on. Like I make sure that I keep on top of my like costs and stuff, because you can get carried away so easy with like promotion, like posters. You can just end up spending stupid money that you shouldn't have spent. So it's nice to track where I can like be like, oh, that's where I shouldn't have spent more money, or so and so.
And I will say one thing I've learned from personal experience, from reading other artists' experience, is the best thing to always do is keep your passion in there, but keep that business mindset so real, because it's stuff like that people crumble so many times by not following those things.
100%. I mean, you look at going back to the Astro Boys, because they're just such a good like example around here, like a good way to like compare. Obviously, like, they've got Dan and Harry Gibbons, who are like the two front running producers, and like, obviously they both run it. But Ollie is like the like cog in the machine. Like he's like the business. He's an excellent DJ as well. Like,
well, there's only like 12 of them, obviously.
There's a lot of them.
That's just not the music.
There's a lot of them, but like Ollie is like almost like an enigma in that 11. Like he's got the most business mindset. Like my mates in Cardiff run an event, a huge event called Canopy, and there's one guy who's an incredible DJ, and the other guy is like he's like switched on. And you need that. And then that's sometimes where I think I struggle a little bit, because I do this all by myself.
Yeah, I was literally just about to ask you, do you find it difficult because it's all on you?
It is difficult. I mean, I have advice from other people, which is nice, but I mean, like, I'm responsible for anything that goes wrong, but I'm also responsible for anything that goes right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard sometimes, because I'm like, I could really do with a bit more maybe financial power, especially being at uni, or maybe I could do with a bit more, maybe I could do with like some advice on something I might have done wrong. But I mean, I've got to afterwards step back and look at it from like a completely unbiased perspective of myself and be like, what can I do better this time?
Yeah.
So what is the biggest mistake you think you've made that you can tell people here so that they can maybe learn to dodge? Or
I mean, I think honestly the biggest mistake I made so far is probably the timing I've put an event on, because I did one towards the end of Christmas last term, and it was kind of like that period where everyone was like handing in essays. It was also when like people were low on money, and I organised it earlier in the term, and it got to the point I was like, this is gonna be difficult, because people don't really want to go out at the moment because they've got deadlines. People don't have much money, so I made it £1 on the door. We had a few people in, but it was probably my quietest one, because it was that timing of it, and like that is. Timing of an event is so key. I mean,
marketing an event is so
if you
key.
put an event on maybe like the day before, like Elro. Oh, that's another thing. Elro is like the weekend after, so people weren't going.
Oh, so
Of
they were like
course.
saving.
They were like, we
themselves,
want to go to
yeah.
Elro, and obviously like at the time I booked it, that wasn't there. But like obviously I can't. It's out of my control, but it is very very important to
Yeah.
like timing of something is so.
Be
pivotal.
aware of your surroundings.
Exactly.
Would you
100%.
say you need to have like a good knowledge of the scene and what's going on? Like,
Yeah, I mean the knowledge of the scene around here in terms of like bass and drum and bass is very like limited, and that's also another thing. Like, I do feel like a lot of people around here kind of follow the crowd because people don't like it. When they come to uni, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't like it either." It's like, for example, first year, everyone goes to Oceana because if you don't go, you have no mates. Like, you literally,
Yeah.
you have absolutely no friends. I mean, like, it's. But actually, now all my mates are like, "It's so rubbish." And like, I could have told you that 3 years ago. But if I didn't go to those, I wouldn't be friends with the people I'm friends with because.
Hey, I'm friends with everyone. I never sucked into it, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so
Get
true.
go.
Well, I saw you in Oceana a few times, Harvey. They know what you're like.
I got forced to go. Yeah. Switch is the
there you
one.
go then. You got forced to go.
Like 3 or 4
The
times
night
in
you
3
smashed
years.
your phone or what?
Yeah, every time I'm in Oceana, I smash my phone. Maybe that's the reason to not go in there.
Yeah.
It's a terrible place. I mean, another thing, like, actually on the topic of that, I don't slate stuff. I don't like slating other people's stuff. But for like events and like underground music, Oceana is not good for the city at all.
No.
Places like Prism, all those kind of places, they will. Because people just kind of they gravitate to these places because they've never experienced like underground music. Like a lot of people, you got to remember it's underground because it's not popular. It's not like the most popular music.
Yeah.
People go to those places all the time, and they can completely kill off like people trying to start events. They can completely kill off like little clubs, and it's. I personally don't think they're good for the underground music industry. Like that's my
But
opinion.
also do remember that sometimes say like Oceana, they may not be there for that underground scene. It could be more of a place like they get Bass Hunter and Conor Maynard
Yeah.
and whoever, and that's because not everyone's like us who all love music.
Exactly,
who
and
watch
that's
music.
exactly what I mean.
That's more for generic people who like.
There's the argument as well. If there wasn't people places like Oceana, there would be no such thing as underground. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah.
that's
you
and
have
that's
to
the thing.
have
I don't like stating stuff because everything's there for a reason. I mean, everything
Yeah.
has its place. And like,
course.
for example, like you just like hit the nail on the head. There wouldn't be places like underground music if Oceana didn't exist. It
Yeah.
wouldn't happen.
You need the shit to find the good.
Exactly, 100%.
So Harry, if there's anything for you now, like kind of, we've been talking a lot about it, but what's kind of like the future for you now? Obviously, you're about to break up from uni. Like, what's your next step in terms of progression?
So I mean, I'm gonna be hopefully in London next year. I'm gonna really push the kind of record label side of it. Like, I've had a release already from one guy around here, like an upcoming guy. Got another one trying to work out. I'm trying to at the moment. It's quite long getting stuff on Spotify. It takes a long
Yes,
time,
it does.
especially if you're small. Like
Yeah.
they take ages. I mean, they said like, oh, it takes 72 hours. I've been waiting for 3 weeks. Like, it's taking.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they've approved it and it's like ready for distribution, but it's just obviously at the back of their list because they've got more important stuff to do,
Yeah.
which is kind I get.
Word of advice, always do it a month in advance. But I have a few friends who do what you do, and actually for themselves as independent artists, when they're trying to get their stuff on streaming, it takes them.
Yeah, it takes-
See, I didn't realise it was so long. Like, I didn't realise you had to. I thought you could just upload it and there it was.
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
realise
obviously
you
you got to remember that all this kind of stuff they've got to moderate it, make sure it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's so much legal behind it. I mean, like
Yeah.
if you're like plagiarising off someone else, like
Yeah.
that looks terrible on Spotify if they release it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm trying to work on that at the moment. I'm kind of like at the moment, obviously I'm very busy with uni, but I'm in the summer I'm going to be like reaching out to people, like trying to grow it as a brand. Obviously, SoundCloud's an excellent thing for underground
Yeah.
music because you can put stuff up straight away and it can expose you to so many people all over the world. So I'm really going to push that next year. Like that's my kind of aim. Like go to London, push that, keep doing the events. Hopefully be doing stuff here. Obviously keep stuff here. Hopefully if I can in London, that'll be great as well.
Just build your brand.
Yeah, build the brand. Like it's at the end of the day, it's all about building a name. And you've got Rome wasn't built in a day, was it? Like you got to start
Exactly.
somewhere.
There we
Got
go.
to start somewhere.
And last but not least, if there's one piece of advice you can give to anyone who wants to like go into DJing or may have confidence issues with it, like what is the one thing people should be aware that could help them a lot?
Honestly, my thing is, if you want to do it, that sounds so cliche, just go for it. Because I waited for ages to start doing it, and I wanted to do it, and I just took my time actually getting around to doing it. And if I'd started sooner, I'd be in a different place now. Like I would maybe be like a bit further ahead. Honestly, if you're interested in like DJing, go and buy like a little controller, just sit in your room and just
Practice.
even if it's like 20 minutes every day. That's what I literally did. I come back from uni, I just sit and do it for a little bit. Practice honestly makes perfect.
At what point, obviously, when you started, when did you like start recording mixes and stuff?
I think I recorded the mix in the first like couple of weeks, and
Really?
it's actually still on my SoundCloud, and it's probably one of my most liked mixes, which is quite interesting. But like I started, and the funny thing is, I called it Connect Mini Mix, and that was a year before I made Connect. Cause I always had Connect like my brand in my mind, and I never got around to doing it. I wish I just like grabbed it and like I'm gonna do it now.
Yeah.
But now you know you're still in early days.
Exactly, 100%. And there's a lot of time. I've got a lot of time to work on it. And yeah, honestly, for people trying to get out there, just go to like a society at university. Go and like go around to your mates if they got some decks. Don't be afraid to ask people for stuff. I mean, I get messages every day. People be like, "Oh, can I send you a mix?" I'm always listen. I listen to all of them. I never don't listen to them. Obviously, some of them I'll be like, "This isn't great." Some people have messaged me and I've been like, absolutely giving them sets. And like, don't be afraid to ask for it because there's a lot of people out there, and if you don't ask, you don't get. Be nice about it though, because some people are so persistent and arsey, and you've got to remember, if you're messaging promoters, they have. I'm not even like, my brand's not even big yet, and I get so many messages. I'd hate to imagine like the amount of messages that, like for Astro, I'll probably get hundreds of messages like around here. I mean, just ask for it, but like be polite, be courteous, and like just go for it. Like, honestly, just go, sit down, like put your mind to it, and you will achieve it straight up.
And hey, if you ever want to do Connect, if you want to have Hari at Nads and Connect, just sign Nads under Connect.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Don't sign yourself, bitch. Like Skepta.
There we go. That's how we do it. Yeah, straight up.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for that, mate.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me down. Thank you.
We've been the Underground Podcast.
Harry, if you'd like to tell people where they can find you on
Oh,
social
yeah,
media.
go on.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram as Nadstagram. Facebook is just Nads, or Connect as a Connect Events on Facebook, and SoundCloud as Connect Events as well, I think.
Wonderful.
Cool. Thank
Right.
you.
Thanks, guys. Cheers for listening.
I'm Harvey. I'm gay. Goodbye.
Bye.